You can tell it's summer, or certainly I can tell it's summer when I choose to put on a watch that is this beautiful and this tiny. I think that's better without too much glare from the lamp on my desk. But this is a Vertex. It's a tiny little watch made in England many moons ago, certainly perhaps in the late 50s. But it weighs nothing. I have it on a canvas strap, and today it has reached 26 degrees. Now, that's not a lot by standards of other places that you might live, or where I've lived in Mexico, for example, or where I live in Mexico. But it's meant that today has been a difficult day to write. And I'm mindful when I saw a video comment today from James from the Boss Leather Company. James, I'm continuing to enjoy your content. I just want to say thank you for the prompt you gave me for this video. A few days ago, I went to Darley Street in Bradford in West Yorkshire, near where I live. And I went to write on the outside balcony mid-morning, sort of 10:30, 11 o'clock-ish. And it was a nice day. It was nice and it was warm, and there was a slight breeze, and it was the perfect place to set up my MacBook and take one of my green spiral-bound notebooks and start to, or continue the process, but starting for that day to do more of the writing and catching up with what I've written using pen and paper and adding that into my current manuscript. And that was great. It was really, how do I describe it? It was a great sense, it was with a great sense of relief that I was able to sit there and just write. If you saw the video that I put up, it was going to be a longer video of me just writing, and I called it Write With Me. But after about 20 minutes, the manager of the Newmarket, which is an amazing place, he just walked up to my table and started chatting to me. And after about 5 minutes, I realized, there were certain things he was saying that I didn't want to have on camera. So I switched off the filming process and then shortened that video before uploading it. I think it was yesterday. But it was great to go to a new place. The city that I call home here in England at the moment is Bradford in West Yorkshire. It has been criticised for many things for many years. It has a very diverse population. I think there are probably, I'm guessing, probably 10 different nationalities living on my street, and there are only 24 houses. And the whole city centre is this melting pot of nationalities, cultures, religions. It's a very interesting place, not in a negative way, but it is just very different from many other cities that I've ever lived in. And I had a comment today from David on one of my videos. I recorded a short walking to the station the other day to head down to Nottingham for a Shut Up and Write workshop that I was hosting. And he said, has Bradford changed very much since it became City of Culture? And my honest answer was, no, it hasn't really. There are lots of pretty plantings around the town. There's a lot more hanging baskets. The streetscaping has been made more attractive, and busy roads no longer go through the city centre, and it has become a pedestrian place. And that's not going to make it beautiful. It's not going to make it a very desirable place to come and visit. But there's always stuff happening. We have great cinema. We have several theatres. We have several music venues close to the city centre. And those things bring in a lot of people. There is very heavy footfall during this year of City of Culture, where people are coming in to see events, to take part, to see lots of the street entertainment or the shows that are being placed or that are going on around town. But essentially, it's the same old Wild West crazy city that I have been party to for almost 10 years since I first moved here back in 2015. But what I would say is that the Newmarket, the place that I was writing at the other day and which James commented on in the in the comments, he said, I haven't written for, and he said a number of months. And I think what I want to address here today is that sometimes there are days when it's difficult to write. So I put up a short today saying it's 26 degrees and I'm sweltering in the heat. And in the end, I didn't go and do any writing. I got on with some other things which I thought were perhaps more urgent, more important, sort of on my planning tool. They would be point A items. So they are important and they have a time urgency, so they need doing today. So I did some of those and I was happy with that. I think it's very important as creatives that we don't beat ourselves up because we say, oh, I've got all these things in my planner and I have to do them. The reality is there will be days when you are not productive. There will be days when the last thing you manage to do is work on a manuscript or open that piece of poetry you've been working on for a few days, and instead of being able to progress with your creative project, you have to say, no, that's it. I'm done for the day. There is more time left, but I'm going to use it for myself, and I'm not going to put it into a project which may or may have legs as something for the medium to long-term future. And so I've had that kind of day to day. In my comment to David, when I was talking about the visible changes to the city centre, but that everything else is business as usual or chaos as usual, I also said that I've been recording a series of static tripod videos. Literally, I have taken my phone, the one I'm speaking to you on right now, set it up on a tripod in different areas around the very tight city centre. I've focused very much on the beautiful town hall building which we have here. And I've taken 25-minute, 35-minute videos, just letting the camera run, and you get to see the diversity of population. You get to see people just enjoying themselves out and about in morning sunshine or a little bit of drizzle that passed over in the afternoon, and then at dusk seeing different scenes from the city centre. And those have been just as useful as other content that I might try and produce this week. Those are not anything to do with writing. They are places where I've set the tripod up in each of the venues where I've been sitting on a wall or sitting on a boulder that has appeared as part of the landscaping for the city centre. I've had my notebook and I've made notes, or I've used my A6 notebook and I've jotted my comments in, or I've looked at things that I have moved forward and put little arrows onto the next day, or I've made notes about inquiries I've made or phone calls I've made. And that has been useful time. I just set the camera up and let it run. And today is early in the week. I think early next week, I will simply launch all of those videos. There will be 7 of them in the same day, and I'll put them straight into a playlist. Please help me as a channel and just stick it on play. And if you want to watch them, that's great. If you don't want to watch them, just have it on play, and it helps the channel to have some traction or have some traffic in terms of you visiting and looking at things. But there will be days when you are not productive. There will be days when you pick up a pen, but you can't write, you can't think of things to write, and that's completely okay. I think the comment that James made, that he feels guilty for not having written for several months, that's okay, as long as you know that you've been doing other things that were worth your time and worth the effort and attention you gave to those other projects, because time is a finite thing. It might stop tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't. It might stop in a few years' time or a decade's time. And we just have to take those opportunities that come to us on a daily basis and say, okay, today I'm going to write, or I'm going to go to the cinema. I'm going to go out for lunch and coffee or drinks with friends. I'm going to do something with some of the beautiful things in my life. So, for example, in here, you know what this is? This is a watch bag that my friend Barry gifted to me just a couple of months ago. But the Hydra Conquest in there, it's a big, beefy, heavy 42mm watch, and it weighs a lot. So this one is its skinny cousin, a Vertex, and it came out of this particular pouch today so that I can breathe again and not feel like I'm carrying a heavy weight, but also a strong steel bracelet that is going to make me perspire even more in this heat. Don't feel guilty when you're not writing. Don't feel guilty if you're not taking one of your projects from your man bag or your purse or your wallet and you're not writing something in here that is of high artistic content. That's fine. Instead, grab your notebook and make some jottings about the things that you could do, or you might do, or you will do tomorrow on a different day with a different agenda, with the opportunity to say to yourself, okay, I know what I can do tomorrow. I've put it in my diary, and maybe I will allow those things to happen, or maybe something else will come along that is a different priority, but which serves you in a different sort of way. I've had a tremendous day, even though I haven't done any writing. I haven't taken anything from my green spiral bound notebooks of aspects of scenes or characters for the novel, but I've watched 4 different speakers during a Hey Creator online conference. Tomorrow I'll watch another 4. I've had a good day financially. Today has been a 10 million Satoshi day for us as a family, and that's an amazing benchmark to reach 0.1 of a BTC and almost to not notice it. But every day, one of the things I do on this phone that you're looking at is at 9 p.m. I check our balances. And with what's been created over the last 3 days, we've reached that 10 million Satoshi mark. So that was a wonderful thing. And I had completely forgotten it because I was enjoying the speakers taking part in the online conference. I was sitting at a chair in the living room and I was making notes about what different speakers were saying, what they were bringing to us as the audience. And it's been a good day. Your plans may go awry. You may end up discovering that the things you thought you wanted to do when you went to bed the previous night and were expecting to wake up to today, they don't happen. And that's completely okay. Don't feel guilty. Don't beat yourself up. Don't say to yourself, oh, I wish I had done X or Y or Z today, because you did something. You had your working notes. You had your mechanism for allowing things to happen. And things did happen, but they might not have been the things that you thought you were going to accomplish. Let those happen tomorrow. It's completely fine. Be flexible with yourself. Maintain the longer term vision of where you want to be. And you've got a record of what it is for when you are ready, and also for when the time is appropriate in your diary and in your calendar. Tomorrow, have a look at some of those notes. Think about some of those ideas. And maybe tomorrow you'll be able to tick some of those things off in your notebook and in your diary.